Okay guys, so now we're going to hinge the elevator, and I wanted to point out a couple things on the elevator. The rudder's pretty straightforward, but on the elevator and wings, first, make sure that you're lining up correctly, that you have the right on the right, so that you don't end up putting the reverse pattern on the bottom, that you don't put the bottom on the top of the stab, the bottom of the elevator on the top of the stab. So make sure that's correct. But one other thing you may have noticed when you were removing the hinges from these, that two of the hinges here at the end on this plane had short hinges. They were cut off. That's because on the stab portion, the stab tube runs through here for the first third or so. And those two hinges, if they were full length, would have penetrated that stab tube, broken it, and made it impossible for you to get your stabs on and off. So when you go to do this, make sure you are using the short ones where you pulled them out of. And that goes for every plane. Just make sure when you pull one out and you see that it's short, that it's there for a reason. So I'm going to go ahead. The procedure is exactly the same as it was on the rudder. So we're going to put the nozzle right at the opening until it fills up. Move on to the other hinges. And as before, again, use the short ones at the end here, where the stab tube is, and as before, 90 degrees and 90 degrees. You can see that one because it backs up the stab tube pushed out quite a bit. So we're going to definitely be wiping that one out. 90 degrees and 90 degrees. You want to make sure that's perpendicular to the hinge line. Okay? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and let that set for a moment while we fill the other side here. All right, and as before, just kind of straighten these out and working one hinge at a time, one side at a time. We'll kind of begin putting the very edges of each hinge in. This one's fallen, so we got to kind of assist it a little. Okay, and then lastly, push that in. Get as tight of a seam as you can while still getting bevel to bevel. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and wipe that down and let it sit.
It features a 40-inch wingspan and an airfoiled wing for a superior outdoor performance in light to moderate winds. The electronics package is plenty of power.